What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Vick Almighty, and today I got the brand new Travis Scott Velvet Browns. Personally, I really like this shoe. I love the materials they use. The colorway is clean, very subtle, and easy to wear. At the same time, it's a great base shoe to do some custom work on. I'm thinking brand new soles, brand new swooshes, maybe tongues. We'll see about that. We have a lot of work ahead of us, so let's get started. The first task in this process is to remove the soles. Even though I'm removing these soles from the shoe, it is one of my favorite details just because of the two color shades of brown. Luckily, I can use it for a future project. Now, the hardest part so far was coming up with a donor for these uppers. Since I like the soles as is, it makes it a little bit harder. At the same time, I don't want to spend too much money on a donor since I'm just using the soles. At the moment, I just have to work with what there is. Ideally, I wanted to stick with the Travis Scott colors like olive, pink, brown, or cream. But at the same time, when I was concepting the custom, I was open to doing any bright color to really make this custom stand out. Ultimately, a couple days ago, I went to the Nike clearance store to see what I can find. While I was there, off the rip, I saw a lot of great stuff like these burgundy metallic ones. I've always liked them, but they were still a bit too pricey. Plus, they're not what I'm looking for. I also saw these Air Force Ones, not exactly something I would wear, but it's cool to see the air units inside the Air Force One sole. They're interesting, but not for this project. I continued to browse the aisles. Nothing was really standing out that would look good on the Travis Scott upper. I checked out every section, but really I was limited to whatever they had in a size 8.5 because the size of the donors need to match the size of the Velvet Browns. Ironically, that happens to be my size, and these Shadow 1 lows caught my eye. I already have a pair, but I trashed them when I went out to Mexico last month, so these will be a nice backup. I also came across these black and white Jordan 1 highs for $100. This is a great base shoe for a future custom, maybe another WWE one, we'll see. Finally, my hunt was over. I decided to check the women's size 10 section, and I found these oxidized green 1 lows for a decent price. These have a nice cream midsole with a gum bottom sole that I thought will complement the velvet brown uppers nicely. Bag is secured, let's get back to the stew. These are gonna work out perfectly. I love the cream sole and the gum bottom. I didn't realize it till later, but I actually already used these donor soles on a Travis Scott project. A few months ago, I did a restoration on a pair of reverse mocha Travis Scotts. I couldn't find a perfect matching brown sole, so this is my next best option. So this is gonna be my second time using these donors on a pair of Travis Scotts. I'm gonna take out the laces and insole. While I'm at it, I'm gonna take off some parts for the boneyard, like the tongues and the back panels. Usually I pull out the thread on both sneakers on the medial side. I start by looking on the inside of the sneaker to check where the thread ends or starts, and then on the outside, I look for that area and pull it out. Thread is fully out. Now I'm gonna take these outside and pour a little acetone inside the sneaker for a few minutes so it can start to eat away at the glue. Then I'm gonna blast them with the steamer for another few minutes so I can finish off killing the glue. This will make light work of removing the uppers from the soles. These are good to go, we'll come back to them. Now for the Travis Scotts, same thing. Let's pull out the laces and insoles and carefully pull out the thread. Now I'm gonna carefully remove these soles from these uppers. The key is to not ruin the uppers, but at the same time, I don't wanna damage these soles because I can use them for a future project. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down a little bit of tape on the uppers. Then with the flathead, I'm gonna heat it up, slide it in between, and carefully pry it off. After a few hours yesterday, I finally got the soles off the uppers. These are safely removed. I can use them for a future project. I'm gonna put these to the side. Since last night, I've really been staring at the uppers with this new sole. I really like it. It gives it a nice pop. The original plan was to put this sole on there with a brand new swoosh. However, I don't want to replace the swoosh because as is, it looked really clean. It's got skateboarding SB sneaker vibes. With that being said, the more I thought about it, maybe I should lean more into that SB vibe by putting an SB dunk sole on the sneaker and a fat SB tongue. This isn't something I've really seen anybody do, combining a Jordan 1 low with the dunk SB. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to combine both worlds, SB with Travis Scott. Now I want to keep the overall look nice and classic. kind of how it is right now. I'm looking for an SB dunk sole that has a gum bottom and a fat tongue, ideally brown, but I'll settle for black. I might have found a pair, let's go pick them up. The seller led me to this vintage shop in Phoenix called Studio 56. The shop was a blast from the past. They had a ton of old toys, they had sports memorabilia, and of course, a ton of vintage gear and shoes. If you're in Phoenix, this is definitely a spot to come check out. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good. I'm here from OfferUp, looking for these actually.
Gotcha.
How's everything going?
It's going pretty good.
Dude, this is a cool shop.
Appreciate it.
How long you guys been here for?
Just a little over 2 years. Celebrated that in September.
That's what's up, man. Congrats.
Appreciate it.
You want Zelle or Apple Pay?
Let's do Zelle. You have Zelle?
Let's do Zelle. So I'm actually using these for donors. So like I'm just separating the uppers and using the tongues and the soles for the Velvet Browns that just came out, the Travis Scotts. So I'm just kind of giving them like an SB vibe type of thing.
Cool.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah.
I'll see you around.
Yep.
All right, another $160 invested into this project. This better be it. I'm back from Studio 56 Vintage. Got the donors. I'm hoping this is gonna be the right move. Now, I'm not gonna bore you again removing these donors. I already showed you how to do that. I am gonna pull out the laces and carefully remove this tongue to get it ready for the Travis Scotts. All right, this is kind of what it's gonna look like. I think it's gonna work. It has to work. I can't buy a third donor. It should work. Let's get these soles off. Got the soles off the uppers. These are officially trash. I removed the swooshes, the soles, the insoles, the tongues, and the back tab. Now, like the original donors, I like the cream midsole. These, however, are on the white side. I'm gonna go ahead and age them using some coffee. I'm gonna go ahead and put the soles inside, pour the coffee inside, let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes until I get the perfect tone. All right, so it's been over 10 minutes. The midsoles are still pretty white. I'm gonna put some rocks on the soles, let it sit for another 30 minutes to an hour. We'll see how they look in just a bit. I'm gonna put this to the side very carefully and get to work on the uppers. Off camera, I redid all the skiving by using a blade to shave off all the old glue. I also went ahead and removed the lasting board. This is gonna allow me to put the upper on the sewing machine to sew in the new tongue. Now I still gotta use the Dremel to roughen up the material to get it ready for the reglue. I'm going over the entire upper just underneath the original glue line. The trick is to using a 60 grit sanding bit to roughen up the material. This is gonna create a better bond with the sole. Prep is all done on the uppers. The soles still need more time with the coffee. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab a blade and carefully cut the stitching from the inside to remove this tongue so I can get it ready for the new one. All right, that looks a lot better. That was after about an hour of inside the coffee. These match the original Jordan 1 donors. I'm gonna go to the sink and rinse out all this coffee. All right, so far so good. These midsoles are ready for some prep work. This one I already took care of off camera. As you can see, it has a nice white color. Right now, all the old glue is stained thanks to the coffee. It's gonna make it a lot easier for me to see where exactly the glue is as I Dremel it off. Now for this part, I'm gonna be using a metal drill bit to carefully remove all the glue without damaging the rubber. This is a glue eraser. It works for so many things, but right now I'm going over all the edges of the midsole. There's still some glue on those areas that I can't use a Dremel because it'll damage it, but the glue eraser will do the trick. I'm gonna shift my focus onto the tongues. These are the originals, and these are the replacements. For the most part, these are perfect as is. On the originals, one of the key elements is the Cactus Jack label. I already went ahead and carefully removed it off one. I wanna go ahead and sew it onto the SB tongue. However, I have to finesse it on there somehow. I gotta tuck it in underneath the binding. I also wanna keep in mind, once I sew it in, it might compress the material and make it look weird. I'm trying my best to finesse this part and make it look good. First, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the labels, then cut open the binding on the SB tongue to start tucking it in. So I just finished up opening up the binding. I'm gonna go ahead and finesse getting this tag inside. Wrong tag. Just like so. No, wrong tag. I had it right. That's gonna go right there. I'm gonna squeeze it inside the binding. But first, I'm gonna lay down some glue inside the binding. Same exact thing with this rectangle patch. Once the glue's cured, in about 15 minutes, I'll go ahead and stick everything together. Then with the post bed, I'll lock it in. Glue's fully cured. I'm gonna go ahead and get the tab, slide it in place. Once I like the placement, I'm gonna grab the heat gun, activate the glue to lock it in place. Then I'm gonna go to the machine to reapply the stitching. Got the black thread in the post bed machine. The key is to go over all the original holes to make this look as factory as possible. Cactus jack tag is in place. Overall, way better than I expected. Now, it did compress the padding on the tongue a little bit. Not ideal, but once it's on the shoe and it's laced up, you're not gonna tell. I still have to go in and sew the tongue onto the upper. The glue has already been applied. I just have to heat it up, line it up, and make sure it looks good. Then one more time, go to the post bed machine and add 2 lines of stitching. All right, let's get these dunk soles onto these Travis Scott uppers. First, we gotta apply some glue onto the soles, onto the uppers very carefully. I can't get any glue on the brown uppers. I also went ahead and salvaged the original lasting boards from the Travis Scotts. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down glue on the bottom portion as well. All right, let's let it cure for about an hour. Glue's fully cured, it's time to start bonding everything together. As always, I'm gonna start with the toe, make sure it lines up properly, then jump to the back, and then do the sides. Gotta take my time in order to do this right. All right, so far so good. Soles are on there, everything lined up nicely. Last step I gotta do, I'm gonna slide the lasting boards inside the sneakers. Once they're in place, I'm gonna heat it up, and once again, press on it so I can let them dry for the next hour so I can wrap it up. Now I still have to go in and reapply the stitching onto the soles. I got some nice cream stitching for the outside and some black thread for the inside. Before I show you guys the customs all laced up, I got some work to do on the boxes. Ultimately, I just need one for the shoes. I don't need both. This is obviously the better box to keep. The only thing I want from this box is the label. Once I heat it up, I'm gonna peel it off and put it on the opposite side of this box. The only reason is so in the future, if people ever see these shoes, they know exactly where the soles and the tongues came from. All right guys, that's gonna bring us to an end on the first ever hybrid Travis Scott Jordan 1 Nike SB Dunk. These came out insane. They're super clean and easily wearable. In the beginning of this project, I had a whole different vision for this custom. At the end, they came out 10 times better than I expected. Originally, I was just gonna replace it with another Jordan 1 sole, a different color to give it a nice pop. I was even gonna change the swooshes of the uppers, but once I put the upper on this sole, I realized it had heavy skateboarding vibes. So at that point, I had to pivot to a different direction, and that was the best decision I could have made for this project. These donor soles are still good. I did spend 110 bucks on them, but I can use them for a future project. Same thing with the original soles. There's no other donor or sneaker with the brown on brown. This is a really clean outsole that's still in great condition that I can use for a future project. So out of this custom, I got a cool pair of shoes and 2 donors for future projects. Another thing I had a hard time deciding last night was whether I should age the Nike SB tongue tags on the tongues. This would have been a very subtle detail. I still have the opportunity to do so, but at the moment, I really like the little pop of white. it looks really clean with the rest of the sneaker. But if I was to age it as well, it will go nicely with the cream midsole and the gum bottom sole. I might do it in the future, but for now, we're gonna leave them as is. Another thing I had a hard time deciding is what laces to put on these sneakers. I put two different options, cream and black. Let me know in the comments down below which one you think looks better, cream laces or black laces. This is the first ever Travis Scott Jordan 1 Nike SB Dunk. In the past, Travis has released the paisley print Nike SB Dunks, but the swoosh on those were just regular, they weren't reversed. They also have the PlayStation Dunk with the reverse swoosh, but that's just a regular dunk, not SB. So it's only a matter of time till Travis and Nike collab to bring us a Nike SB Dunk similar to this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Use the special promo code TravisSB to save 20% off at reshoevn8er.com, but it's only good for the first 25 orders. Also, there's 1 week left to enter for our Velvet Brown Travis Scott giveaway. All you gotta do is subscribe to Reshoevn8er, comment down below your shoe size, and follow us on Instagram. Giveaway ends at the end of January. Good luck everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Vick Almighty. Catch you guys on Monday. See you guys.